Dear chess friends, welcome to my new video. This video is dedicated to black solution against Reti Opening. What is Reti Opening? It's when white starts with the move knight f3, and there are many players that respond here with the move d5, and white plays g3. In fact, very popular, very popular setup. So basically, white is trying to play maybe King's Indian with reverse color, but not necessary. Sometimes they switch to c4, sometimes c4. So there is extra tempo, there is more flexibility, of course. And from my personal experience, I know that many players struggle here with setup, with precise theory, and there are a lot of tricky lines here where white can really get very annoying pressure. Now, of course, there are many different setups here. Some people go like knight f6, e6, leaving bishop on c8. Some like playing fianchetto here with g6, bishop g7. Everything is playable, but I know that the majority prefer to get the bishop out, to get light square bishop out. So there are potentially two possible squares, f5 and g4. And here I'm gonna talk about variation. There is no official name, but this is the way German Grandmaster Matthias Bluebaum handles this opening. And so I really like this. So who is Matthias Bluebaum? He's a very strong grandmaster, even stronger theoretician. In my opinion, his theory is way better than his rating. By the way, he's not that bad at all. He's individual European champion 2022, definitely the member of German national team, and definitely the future is ahead of him. I mean, he's just started to play on the very high level. I always paid attention to his opening ideas. There are a lot of interesting like new ideas in his repertoire with both colors. Now, what he's doing here, he's playing bishop g4, and after bishop g2, he plays e6. Now, usually we are talking about moves c6 and knight f6 here. Those are very popular, but there are some drawbacks. For instance, if we are talking about move knight f6, so there is an annoying line here where white starts with move c4, and after c6, white plays knight a5. So it's a lot of games, it's theoretical. I felt it's a little bit unpleasant here. White is enjoying really very interesting play with a lot of ideas. Now, in case of c6 is totally fine in this position, of course, but after e6 we have more flexibility, meaning that in some lines we can play c5, knight c6, so we don't need to play only knight d7. So that's probably the biggest difference. Now, I would like to mention that c4 is probably not, even though Magnus played I think a couple of times, but we can take bishop f3. I don't believe this pawn structure can be really problematic for black with backward d2 pawn. So nobody played e6, so then we can build e6, c6, control d5, if necessary g6, bishop g7. So I think like it's great for black. So now let's go back to our position e6. So we have a couple of setups here. Let me start first with d4. Not dangerous for us, and it's in general, even with c6 it's not dangerous, but again we have definitely this setup, and what is good about this, that potentially in the future we are not satisfied with playing c6, knight d7. We can easily strike with move c5 and play normal knight c6. So that's definitely nice achievement here with this move order. Now move castle, so checking this setup, knight f6, and in this position, let's say if white, after castle knight f6, if white plays d4 here, so that's actually transposition to the previous line. So we get bishop e7, knight d2, castle. Now, always at such positions, it's kind of like also like interesting to play h6, maybe secure light square bishop, so that white is not capturing but on the other hand, castle, rook e1, and then we can play c5 and then knight c6. So we don't need to settle once again c6, knight d7, which is also fine, but this is much more active. Now d4 in general pretty harmless, but especially here with when we have not committed for c6, it's even better. After c6, c4, c6, we play this move, d3. So here we besides just normal development, we can even get endgame here, and endgame is perfectly playable for black. We just play bishop e7. In some lines, queenside castle, in some line, kingside castle. No problems here whatsoever. Now this is line c4. Now d3. So that's of course like very popular. Bishop e7, knight d2, queen e1. It's very well known idea. Preparing e4, typical King's Indian play. So this is King's Indian attack, basically we can say. So here, castle e4, once again, how we benefit from not committing for c6, we can play knight c6 in this position specifically, and we have complicated middle game. Now, and instead of queen e1, knight d2, of course, much more popular, but here, once again, great trump to compare with like normal lines. We can get c5. After e4, knight c6, you probably, when you see this position, you probably recognize similarity to King's Indian attack, but King's Indian attack, we have bishop on c8, so huge difference. A fantastic bishop on g4, so c3, castle, and I think it's very comfortable play for black in these positions. Now, let's go back. So we know we are covered after d3, knight d2 plan. Now, always in Reti, we have c4, queen b3 ideas. So here after c4, we play c6, and our main idea in this position to meet cd5 with bishop takes f3, bishop takes f3, and cd5, I want my knight on c6. And this one usually, it's pretty closed. I check this position, they look to me absolutely fine for black, absolutely reliable. So we just have very straightforward development, castle bishop e7, and white usually plays e3, castle bishop d2. Do we have any active play, or we just trying to contain his bishop pair? No, we have some ideas. We have some ideas on the queen side, for instance, knight e5 with idea knight c4. I really like how Russian Grandmaster Matlakov, also there was a game by Vincent Kamer. So the idea, if b3, so we can play rook c8 and queen e2 and then knight c6. So there is a vulnerability here of dark square. So we have bishop a3 after rook c1. We can jump bishop b4, queen a5. So very interesting position. Now that's one idea here. Now no changes if white decides to put pawn on d3. We have the same setup, very simple. Knight c3, bishop e7, and everything is fine here. Now talking about the lines where white may be playing something else. So let's say castle, we have knight f6, and starting from this position. So once again, cd5, always idea bishop f3. Everything works great. And of course, after queen b3, we have always queen b6. Very convenient defense of b7 pawn, and everything is covered. Very detailed file, as always. Detailed file, as always, covered differently for different levels, so 3 levels, and you can find the most detailed file for expert level, and there is a novice and club players, so that it's a little bit less information according to my experience. I just cut files, trim files a little bit to make it more simple. I think, for instance, the players with a rating 1300, they don't need super detailed, so they need the main ideas. As always, the key point, like you have visual effects, you have arrows, so you can memorize visually some ideas. And guys, if you are interested in this line, if you are interested in fresh solution against Reti Opening, you can go to my webpage askavrukh.com. Once again, I'll put the link in the description. You can purchase this file for pretty good price, and download PGM on your computer and study, update, have good results, and enjoy black position in this variation. So once again, I hope it was useful. I hope you enjoyed my video. Please follow the links in the description if you are interested, and I'll see you soon.